Hey
It's
guys,
like
welcome to the London Lips
over the
YouTube channel.
years,
Welcome if you're new and welcome
I've,
if you are not. So guys, this was a really
done
shocking
this video
story.
time
DJ
and time
Mona
again.
Lisa has been telling this
And
story. Amari has been
every
talking about how
time
she went
I
to see
put
Bob
out the
Marley. She
video
waited for him for
on
hours
Facebook,
and
they
it
have
resulted in
managed
her
to
being
take it
kidnapped for
down.
over a year and raped.
But
So I
I'm
thought I'd put
not
this up
gonna
there for you
give
to
up.
lot guys to just listen to.
And
Grab some tissues
maybe
because this
this
is a
is
really, really
like the
sad
last
story.
time. It's like over the years, I've, done this video time and time again. And every time I put out the video on Facebook, they have managed to take it down. But I'm not gonna give up. And maybe this is like the last time I really try, but I'm not gonna stop, putting up the video. I'm gonna record it the last time, but I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna try to get it out there on every platform. And I'm asking you to help me, if you choose to, because this is really my story. This is really my pain. And like most victims, in the end, I may even be blamed, for what happened to me at Tough Gong Studio, which is Bob Marley's studio. I was only, I remember just passing my common entrance examination in Jamaica. So I must have been about 12 because I remember passing my common entrance examination at 12 years old. So, I'll try to remember as much as I can. But I wrote my first song when I was 10 years old, The Ghetto Child, and I wanted to record it. So, I came from a middle-class family, and I managed to, find out what it is to become a singer, how much money I would need and everything. Before I released Ghetto Child at Dynamic Sound Studio, I first went to Tough Gong Studio to get the song recorded. I don't remember everything, but I remember meeting Ziggy Marley, going into his office and everything, He was such, nice person and everything was cool. And then I don't remember much in regards to that day because it was so exciting meeting Bob Marley's son. And, he was like mixed with white, and had nice hair, very handsome man, and very nice personality and everything. So, it pushed me even more to record the song, to become this singer. And so got my money together and everything. But I don't remember having the money on that particular day. But I remember going to Kingston, me and my best friend Sybil. And we went to the security guard, for him to let us in to continue discussing the recording of the music. The security guard told me that, Bob Marley, was not there at the moment, So I said, okay, I'm going to wait for him. So this is what I remember. I remember sitting like under a tree, but I remember sitting across from the studio and the security guard right there looking at me the whole time. And I remembered Ziggy, all, the Marleys in and out, off the Tough Gong studio, driving their bougie car and everything, seeing the little girl sitting by the roadside, just passing in front of their studio, because it's not like there's another building close by. And it's not like I'm blaming the Marleys outright, but I just wanted their sympathy because everything started right at their facility. So, I sat, I waited, little girl waiting for Bob Marley to come. And then I saw that night was coming down. So I went to the security guard and I said, we've been here for a long time. Night is coming down. So, when is Bob Marley coming? And he said that it's not going to be till another 6 months. So I said, 6 months? So you knew all this time that Bob Marley not coming until 6 months, and you had me sitting here the whole time waiting for Bob Marley? Excuse me, Desi. I don't like to talk and people walking back and forth.
Did you hear a phone reading?
No. So I said that, why didn't you tell me earlier that Bob Marley is gone for 6 months? You had me sit there waiting for Bob Marley. And by now, we don't know what to do, because he told me that there are no vehicles running anymore, to take me anywhere, So I'm unable to go back home. I don't know where to go and sleep. I don't know what to do. So the security guard gave me a name and an address and told me that I should go to the address and, everything will be okay, that I will be able to stay at that particular place and not to worry about anything. So we had no choice, me and Sybil. So we took the address information and he told me where to walk. I remember walking, and it wasn't far from the studio. I remember walking and then seeing this big house. And, we knocked at the gate. Excuse me, the cat needs to go outside. I remember knocking at the gate and shouting, anybody home? Anybody home? And then someone came to the gate, and I told him that the security guard from Tough Gong Studio sent me there and said that, we could stay there for the night and everything. And he said, sure, not a problem. So we went inside. It was a huge house, beautiful house. So we felt secure. We felt all right. They asked us if we needed anything to eat, made sure we ate. I remember another guy being there, asked us if we ate, but we felt like we were in good hands, because in your mind, in your little mind, oh, you went to Bob Marley's studio and it's a security guard from Bob Marley's studio and he sent us to this big house. I did not know that incident would change my whole life. It's like during the night, the man tried to make advances at me, 12 years old. And, I was like, no, what are you doing? You get me? But I remember getting up the next day and saying to Sybil, come on, let's go home. And Sybil comes from a very poor family. So she just was excited about being in the big house, and she just wanted to eat. And so she didn't care about going home. I wanted to go home. And the man was like, he will drop us home, so to hold on. Night come down again, same thing. The man don't drop a soam or anything, and we're still there. The advances got worse, where I was raped continuously over and over and over again. I told Sybil what was happening to me, and she showed no interest in escaping. I don't know if anybody was bothering her, but it was just me, because I was the little pretty one, and honestly, she she wasn't that good looking. She had nothing to worry about. Nobody was messing with her. It was me, Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've never been sexed so often in all my life. In all my life, over and over and over and over again. And one day turned to 1 week turned to a month turned to 2 months, to 3 months, to 4 months, to 5 months, to 6 months, to 7 months, to 8 months, to 9 months, to 10 months, to 11 months, to 12 months. I was not allowed to go home. I was not allowed to go to the gate. I was barricaded in with burglar bars and padlocks. I wasn't allowed to go to the corner store. I was allowed to go nowhere. Nowhere. I wasn't allowed to see anyone. The furthest that we ever went was when he put us in a car and he would drive to a friend's house that they would smoke weed together. And that's the furthest that I ever went. I remember one day the individual took a journey to Ocherias, and we had to pass through Geisel St. Mary, where I was from. And what they did during that time was put my head down when I was passing my community, and kept my head down until we got through that community. So imagine you're passing home. You know that your grandmother often sit at the window, and you know that your grandpa may be on the veranda, but you're passing, and they don't know that you're passing by because your head is held down, until you pass your community. So it went on for over a year, 1 year in captivity, just for wanting to be a singer and hearing so much about Bob Marley studio, and venturing for my dreams to come true. And trust me, my dreams eventually came true with a studio down the road called Dynamic Sound Studio, where no one disrespected me, and they all got to work, recorded my song Ghetto Child, and also recorded Needing You. So I want to know, why was the Bob Marley studio not safe, where they basically set me up and sent me to a facility where I was raped over and over and kidnapped for over a year? How did I escape? I prayed continuously, and then one day when he went to the area where he always chill and smoke, I went to the gate and I saw some people passing by, and something say I should tell them what's going on. And I say, can you help me? I've been kidnapped for over a year, and I want to go to school, and I want to go home to my grandmother. I remember saying those words because I love school and I miss school. I was a student of St. Mary High School in Highgate, St. Mary. And there was a young man in the group, and he said, I'm going to come back this way and I'm going to whistle. And when I whistle, I want you to run, and I will tell you where to run to. So I went back inside, and then I heard the whistle, and I said to Sybil, Sybil, I'm going to run away, and you might as well come because I can't live this way no more. And so I went outside. The man was like high and everything, and I went outside, and he told me to run that way. And so I ran, and there was a fence, like a wall, and he told me to jump. And I remember, I don't know how I did it, but I remember scaling the fence, jumping over the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, I jumped into a yard with so many dogs. And I remember running for my life and having to jump another fence. And I could only been saved by Jesus Christ. I jumped over the other fence, and that's how I ended up with this mark right here on my feet. That is now a tattoo right down here. These marks have to do with when I jumped the fence. I covered that mark now with roses. And so I jumped over the next fence, and he realized by now that I had escaped, and he started to run me down with a gun. And the guy kept telling me to run, 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 and kept leading me. And I continued to run, run, run. For whatever reason, whenever I go to Grandspan, where Gully Bop is from, there is an area there that reminds me of where I ran. Because it's like this area that is called the Gully. You know, I'm so familiar with that area. Because I remember being on one side of the gully and the man on the other side, and he was saying that he's going to kill me. And I remember that's when I was bold, because I figured to myself that a bullet cannot travel that far. And that's when I cursed him out and told him that he can't do me nothing. And then I continued running. And the guy led me to a yard with a huge gate. He opened the gate and we all went inside. And then, luckily, he told me to hide in the bushes. So I hid in the bushes. Luckily, we didn't go straight inside the house. Because shortly after I was in the bushes, the men came, beat down the door, and they were like, where's she at? Where's she at? And the lady was like, what are you talking about? And they said, I remember they even said, this girl, she's good looking, brown skin, although I ain't that brown skin. They was like, she's brown skin. Did she come here? And the lady say, I don't know what you talking about. They went through our house, our daughters and all that, but they wanted me. And the lady said, I don't know what you're talking about. No girl is here. And I'm in the bushes and I'm going shaking, ants biting me and everything. And I'm like, Jesus, 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 Jesus. You get what I'm saying? Shaking like a leaf, you know? And the men walked around and everything. Excuse me if I kind of lose it every now and then because this is traumatic. The men walked around and everything, and they were there for at least, I would say, less than 45 minutes. And they eventually left. But I still could not leave, you know, from the bushes because I felt like they would still come back. But I remember eventually going in the house, sleeping in the bed, and worrying that they were going to come back to hurt me. And so I barely got any sleep. And I got up the next day and I told the guy that I'm ready to go home now. And that's when the guy informed me that I'm going nowhere. So from the security guard at Tough Gong to being kidnapped by whoever he sent me to, and being kidnapped for 1 year, to being able to escape, I was then kidnapped again. The person who saved me kidnapped me again and told me that I could not leave. And it's like everything started all over again. The constant rape without my permission, endless intercourses until it's sickening. No wonder I don't care about intercourse. Sickening, colliding, over and over. It's like my body had become meat that you just batter. That you just fill your belly with. You know, you eat, you fill your belly. I didn't feel like a human being. My soul felt empty. I've been lost ever since. When you as a woman have no right over your body. And I decided to escape again. Because on this particular morning, you know, the guy screwed me, wanted more and more. And I was like, I can't do this no more. I was outside and he was like, come inside to go at it again. And I like, no, I'm not coming. So he had a cup of tea in his hand and he threw the tea at me and burnt up my back. And that's when I said, Sybil, I gotta get out of here. I said, God never leave the people at the Red Sea. They escaped from captivity, but it didn't stop there. They were able to cross the Red Sea. And I do believe that the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego has plans for me to be free. I believe in him and I'm going to cross this Red Sea. So I say, you coming or not? So she say, okay. Because she seemed to be fine with everything. Ain't nobody messing with her. So we waited until he was asleep and we ventured to the gate, which was far from the house, a distance. We ventured to the gate and all I remember was some skill that we came up with where like she went on my back and jumped over the wall and then she extended her hand to lift me up and bring me over the wall. That's all I remember. And I remember our God. I remember we had to decide first who's going to go over the wall. And it was her. I think we pulled straws or something. I remember like grass and we pulling the grass, but I don't remember how that tactics is done, but we pulled grass straw and then she won. And so she was able to escape first and she went over the wall. And I remember, I was saying like, put your hand further, pull me, pull me, pull me. And she finally pulled me over the wall and we were in the streets. And so we tried to stop every vehicle that we saw and nobody would stop for us. And I remember little Venice running in the street in the path of an oncoming car. And it was a van, an open back van. And the man was like, little girl, move the blood clot out of the road. And I said, I'm not moving. And he said, Miss Effie, come out of the road, make me pass. And I said, I'm not. I said, I need to go to Geisel. I need to go to school. And mama look for me. Somebody kidnapped me. I'm trying to escape. I'm not moving unless you let me come in the van. And I said, look at Pitney. You know, so I have to reach work though. All right, come. So there was Sybil running to go in the front of the van. And the man said, no. Because, you know, they only bring pretty girls in the front. And so he told Sybil to go in the back. And he put me in the front. So it was this little girl, and it was like, freedom. You know, the van driving, the breeze blowing in my hair. I had long, pretty hair. And I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you so much. Freedom at last, you know. And the van brought me to Linstead. And when I reached Linstead, I had no money to go to Geisel. But my family was very popular. And I was like, I'm from the Purcell family. Can you bring me home? Mama looking for me. They don't know where I am. I want to go home. And they said, Purcell, Trevor Purcell, who Purcell? Hector, your family that? I said, yeah, I'm from the Purcell. Of course, the Purcell family is much lighter and everything, but they saw the resemblance, and they took me to Geisel. And so I reached home. I think when I reached home, I became a new person. I wasn't the same person that left home venturing to become an artist. I became someone else. But I can't go into the details now. And that's the quiet part of me that you don't know at all. The reflective part of me ever since.
Wow, guys, that was a really deep story. I can't believe that happened to her. Imagine being kidnapped twice from the age of 12. Thank God she is okay. It's so shocking. You just got to be really careful when you go to places, especially, you know, when you're young. You've got to be careful and let your kids know about the dangers out there and trafficking and things like that. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How responsible do you think the Marleys are for what happened to Amari?
Be the fam, that's what they call me. Promise that you never be lonely.